I'm here with Scott Cain at BT. And Scott, BT's approach to cloud computing is to sort of attack it from vertical industries. Maybe you can elaborate on why it went that route as opposed to sort of being more of a cloud generalist.
Well, BT as a global company really has customers that are really distributed all over the world. And what we found was they tend to be clustered into these four major kind of vertical areas.
Okay.
Financial markets, consumer packaged goods, global commerce, which is really around manufacturing, supply chain, et cetera.
Okay.
That also includes pharmaceutical. And the last one really is government and health. And then what we found is if we deliver ourselves in terms of those four verticals spread across the four major geographies, at the same time we can really build assets in those areas of verticals and deliver them via a global model geographically. So I think a lot of customers like to think they're global, just like a lot of vendors like to think they're global, but really what they are is multinational, right?
Right.
So we all have different requirements, different regulations, et cetera, within our geos, and that's why we have that 4x4 split.
But having and also it helps to have the assets, in the data centers in every country and the physical network infrastructure. Now when BT was sort of approaching cloud services and defining its approach, how did you guys deal with the network side and the IT side sort of having to work more together? Because those are two groups within telcos that usually don't work together on the same projects for the same groups of customers. How did you guys address that?
So we really started by just talking about when somebody decides that they're going to draw out a network or that they're going to draw out some type of application service across, they start with the cloud, right? So we all understood that we're all part of that cloud delivery, and the network fabric is the delivery piece and the engine comes from the data center. We didn't try to make the network people into something that they weren't, and we didn't try to make the data services people into something that they weren't. We really looked at how to best deliver the capabilities and really looked at, from a customer perspective, what the customer challenges are, and then what we needed to build within that data services area to be able to provide those solutions going forward.
Did it help taking the vertical approach? Because now instead of having to worry about the best type of cloud on earth, you had to worry about the best type of financial services cloud and the best type of consumer packaged cloud.
It did and it didn't. It helped us focus from a delivery capability, but the bottom line is infrastructure as a service and communications as a service is a foundation which kind of spreads across all those capabilities, not just any particular industry or vertical. Really where the vertical comes into is now how do we utilize that to help the financial markets or help the consumer product goods companies touch their consumers rather than just touch their customer, which is like a Walmart, et cetera.
Okay. Hey, when you're developing cloud services on behalf of an enterprise customer, what are enterprise customers asking for first and foremost from the telcos? Because I'm trying to sort of define how the Amazons of the world are approaching their enterprise customers in a different way than the telcos are.
Yeah, we're definitely taking a service provider look at it, right? And when you define cloud, you have to define cloud across from a private to a public cloud perspective. We definitely take much more of a private view versus an Amazon, which takes a much wide open,
anyone can use
view.
it, sign up online, that sort of thing.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And it's, and what you gain and lose in that are different trade-offs, from a security perspective to data integrity to really user experience. And user experience is where the rubber meets the road for us. When we're dealing in the enterprise market, we can't afford to not deliver that user experience. And it's a whole new dynamic around user experience now that didn't really exist for cloud before, but has always existed from a service provider world, whether it's a mobile phone that you're carrying around or your laptop that you're connecting at a Starbucks, right?
Right.
It's those application delivery capabilities, which really is kind of starting to make that differentiation for us.
Is this wave of cloud services that's coming, that's sort of coming online now and will continue to come online as more and more enterprises get behind this, is this going to necessarily mean a big spend in IT or telecom infrastructure, or is this just simply a way of realigning the assets that are already out there and maybe just controlling the data centers or linking them together in a more efficient way?
It's a good question, because I think what we've done over the past couple of years as cloud was building, right, is rationalize data centers, rationalize real estate, cut down on all those things, virtualize servers, so you're doing more with less, right?
And you had the recession going on at the same time, so
Exactly.
It was hard to tell what was what.
Yeah, and I think what we're going to see is a paradigm shift, a transformation from customers spending more on capital to the providers spending more on capital and providing an operating expense model to our customers. I don't necessarily think that that's going to change how much money we spend on it. I think what you'll find is we'll be spending less in some areas and more in others. A whole new world is around that user experience that we were just discussing, and that's really, you're going to have to buy more tools and have those capabilities, and really from a service level agreement perspective with your providers, you're going to now have to be able to track those metrics, et cetera, to make sure you're getting the service that you're actually signing up for. So that's an additional cost. However, you'll cut your costs and move to a monthly operating expense. The other key thing, having been on the customer side of the business, when I ran IT, you have a fixed monthly budget, quarterly budget, right, annual budget, right? Yeah. And what's a kind of an undertone discussion that's happening is really around that predictability in your financial model. So as you go towards that public cloud versus the private cloud, your predictability starts to go away. And now you could potentially sign up for a lot of usage, your application developers, et cetera, that post whatever types of platform and buy CPU, buy storage, buy throughput. Now you can get hit with some fairly large bills without expecting it and without that predictability. And that to me is a key thing that we have to help our customers understand and deal with and keep them in that hybrid world. And not that the public cloud is a bad thing, because it's excellent from a flexibility, innovation. Right. I think that world needs to still exist. But when you're talking about something where you have to have that predictability, you have to think about those other capabilities.
All right, Scott, very good. Thanks for talking with LRTV. Appreciate it.
Thank you.